Do you ever wish that you could just be happier? Maybe you feel like you're going through the motions of each day, feeling a bit overwhelmed, a bit stressed, and you just wish you could enjoy life more. Well, you're in luck because in this video, I'm sharing 8 evidence-based habits that are proven to help us be happier. And the good news is that all of these habits are absolutely free. So these are all things that you can start doing today without spending any money. Here's everything I'm going to be covering, and of course I'll leave it all arranged in chapters down below so you can skip around. And as always, if you want to take notes, this will be so useful to you. I think I'm a pretty optimistic person. My baseline is just quite happy generally, but I remember going through a really tough patch back in 2017, 2018, and maybe a bit of 2019 as well, where I just felt stressed and overwhelmed all the time, and I kept asking myself, why can't I just be happier? And I wish I'd seen a video like this back then, because I'm going to be sharing with you some really simple, easy things that you can start today. If we haven't met before, I'm Dr. Sarah. I'm a burnout coach and a medical doctor. And if you want more details about how you can work with me, then I will leave them all in the description box below. So we'll just run through these in no particular order. Number 1 is decluttering. This is something that I've been meaning to do a lot of in my house. I've been looking around my house this past few weeks and thinking about how much I'm looking forward to doing some spring cleaning, getting some things out of my house. So a study in 2009 looked at 60 heterosexual couples with dual income and assessed how cluttered those houses were. And they found that for the couples who had more cluttered houses, the females had higher cortisol levels throughout the day. And that included controlling for other things like marital satisfaction. So this study drew a link between clutter in the household and stress. So basically, the more cluttered your house, the more stressed you are. And therefore, if we tidy up, live a more organised, clutter-free existence, then we're more likely to be happier. So this is a habit that we can literally start anytime, tidying things up. I have a whole program about how to get organised, how to declutter your house and your life, create more time, create more space in your life, and it's called Spring Clean Your Life. So if you want the details for that, I will leave a link in the description box below, and I'm going to gift you 50% off as my special gift to you for watching this video. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel more calm and more relaxed when my home and my environment in general is organised and tidy. I remember in our old house we had this particular room that was a bit of a dumping ground, and every time I went in there I could just feel my stress levels rising. I went through this whole process of decluttering and tidying up when we moved into this house. The items in our home have an emotional impact on us, and it's important to be surrounded by things that you love. The way I like to think about it is that every item in my home and my environment should either be beautiful or functional, and hopefully both. But if not, then they are generally just clutter, and all of those clutter items have a to-do associated with them. Either it is to be put away, or to be fixed, or to be finished if it's a project that you've just got lying around, and that can be stressful for me personally. So I can definitely understand what this study is trying to say. Number 2 is having a gratitude practice. A systematic review and meta-analysis that looked at 64 clinical trials involving gratitude practices found that participants who practiced gratitude regularly had improved mental health, fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression, and a generally increased positive mood. So a gratitude practice might include writing down the things that you're grateful for and telling people that you are grateful for them in your life. Having a gratitude practice is about experiencing a sense of happiness and joy for the things and experiences and the love that we do have. When you're starting a gratitude practice or any sort of journaling, it can be difficult to know how to get started. And I recently joined a class on Skillshare, Writing for Self-Discovery, 6 Journaling Prompts for Gratitude and Self-Discovery by Yasmin Cheyenne. In this class, she frames writing, journaling, and gratitude as a form of self-care, which I love and totally agree with. And I find that on the days where I take a few minutes to write out my thoughts in a journal, my mind feels clearer and I feel happier in general. Yasmin shares her story in the class, talking about how she grew up tough in New York and joined the military. Doing journaling, gratitude, and self-care were not part of her life, but she talks about how she hit a wall and fell into a depression, anxiety, and overwhelm. Journaling became an escape for her and a way to rediscover who she was as a person. She asked herself, what do I want? What do I like? What do I need? And I resonated with this so much because when I went through that difficult time back in 2017, probably to about 2019, I felt anxious, overwhelmed, and quite lost, frankly. Journaling helped me to get out of that state. So if you decide to join Skillshare, I'd highly recommend checking out this class. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with a wide depth and breadth of topics ranging from illustration, graphic design, photography, music, marketing, productivity, and thousands of creative classes in countless categories ranging from beginner to advanced. One thing I love about Skillshare is that it has a learn by doing approach to teaching, where members can create and share a project after completing a class, getting feedback from the community. In the class by Yasmin that I mentioned, she actually shows you video clips of how she goes about her journaling practice and her gratitude practice, rather than just giving you instructions to follow. It really feels like she's there with you, taking you along on the journey with her, showing you step by step. I've partnered with Skillshare and I'm very excited to tell you that the first 500 people to use the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And let me know in the comments down below if you do decide to sign up, especially if you decide to do the class that I mentioned. By the way, apologies if you can hear the rain. I'm sitting underneath this beautiful skylight that I'm very grateful for, and it's pouring with rain and I can hear it quite loudly, but I'm hoping that my microphone isn't picking it up, so we'll continue on. One of the things that I encourage all my coaching clients to do, which you've probably heard me talk about on this channel before, is writing in a joy journal. So a joy journal is a bit different from gratitude practice because a joy journal is about writing one thing down every day that brought you joy. If you've been on my channel for a while, you will have heard me talking about this in so many of my videos, getting enough sleep. Remember that time that I told you about where I was struggling when I was burnt out and really anxious and probably a bit depressed? That time of my life, I was definitely not getting enough sleep. And I started to tell myself I'm the kind of person who can just cope on 4 or 5 hours a night. But actually, this was having a massive impact on both my physical and my mental health, and definitely making me less happy. So what does the science say? Well, the research is pretty much unanimous across the board that the more you sleep and the better quality you sleep, the happier you are. A review in 2023 that looked at data from a longitudinal study on sleep that included over 4,500 participants found that overall, the higher the number of hours slept and the better sleep quality, the happier you are. These people had higher levels of well-being and satisfaction in life. So sleep makes you happier. So if you're staying awake, doom scrolling with one eye open until 3 in the morning and you're still setting your alarm early to get up for lectures, for work, to go to the gym, then I would encourage you to put that down, even if it's one of my videos that you're watching, and get some sleep. It will make you happier. Prioritize your sleep and you will be prioritizing your happiness. Number 4, acts of kindness for other people. So in psychology, the term for this is pro-social behavior. A study in 2016 divided participants into 4 groups. So there was a first group that did nice things for themselves. Then there was a second group that did acts of kindness for others, so this pro-social behavior. The third group did things that were good for humanity, so things like recycling. And the fourth group, which was the control group, were told to record their daily activities. Now, the only group that had an increase in their positive emotions was the group that did acts of kindness for others, this pro-social behavior. So when you do those random acts of kindness and when you do nice things for your colleagues at work, make that cup of tea, do something lovely for somebody, hold that door open, you are not just making their day better, you're also increasing your own happiness. I remember when I started working in the emergency department and we had this couple of days induction, and they said to us when we started there that everyone is part of a team. They said nobody in the team is better than anybody else and we're all expected to step up and do things around the department. They said to us, guys, we know you're all doctors, but that doesn't mean that you're not able to make a cup of tea for a patient, or if you see a piece of litter on the floor, you pick that up. If you see somebody needs help moving a trolley, you go help them. And I loved how they were encouraging us to all muck in and do nice things for each other. I mean, that's teamwork, isn't it? Not only does it make it feel like a more cohesive team, but I come away from my shifts in the emergency department feeling like I've contributed more by doing those small acts of kindness around the department. And I think that's something that we can all do more of. Number 5 is surrounding yourself with positive people. In psychology, there's a term emotional contagion. This is the idea that emotions are contagious almost. So if you're around somebody with a particular emotion, you might experience that emotion yourself as well. So being around happy people makes us happier. I can think of one of my colleagues from work. He is just a ray of sunshine. Every time he walks in the department, everyone's face lights up. He's always cracking a joke, he's always smiling, he's always laughing. He's got a kind word to say about everyone. And I'm sure you can think of examples in your own life of people that are those rays of sunshine. And maybe you're one of those people as well. An article published in Harvard Medicine suggests that being around positive people has a higher impact on your happiness and well-being than money. So if you've got people in your life that generally make you happier, try and see those people more. And you know, this doesn't have to be people in real life. This can be people that you surround yourself with on the internet as well. So if there are people whose videos you enjoy that make you happy, watch more of them. Number 6, I'm very sorry to report this because I'm sure that there are many of you watching who will not be happy to hear this, but regular exercise makes us happier. The evidence for this is so strong. There are multiple meta-analyses that show a link between higher levels of activity and happiness. Essentially, the more exercise, more happiness and life satisfaction. And I can definitely vouch for this in my own life. There have been so many times where I've just been feeling a bit gloomy, a bit glum. I take myself out for a run and boom, magically, I feel better. It's so frustrating because, you know, on those days you just want to rot in bed, pull those covers up over your head, doom scroll on your phone and shut the world out. But getting out and doing some exercise, moving your body is naturally going to release endorphins, make you happier. Number 7, getting out in nature. A review published in 2021 found that multiple studies report higher levels of happiness and well-being, decreases in negative emotions, including anxiety and sadness, when we spend more time in nature. One study in particular looked at different natural environments and their impacts on our mood and our happiness, and they found forest environments to have the most positive effects. So spend some time in the woods, spend some time in a forest, and you'll be happier. I try to take my dog out walking to the forest every day, and I've definitely noticed an increase in my happiness whenever I've done that. There's something so relaxing and calming about looking up at the trees and just seeing all the birds, listening to the trees rustling. Number 8, eating a balanced diet. Okay, so I assumed that this would be the case, but I had never really looked at the data around this. I thought that eating a balanced, healthy diet, nutritious diet, would have a positive impact on our happiness, on our mood, but I was so surprised when I looked at the research on this, just to see that across the board, the research shows that the more fruits and vegetables we eat, the happier we are. For example, researchers from Leeds University looked at data from more than 40,000 people in the UK. The more fruits and vegetables eaten, the higher emotional well-being and life satisfaction. So the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the happier you are. As somebody who tries to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, this data made me happy. I suppose it does make sense because when you eat more fruits and vegetables, you have a more diverse gut microbiome. Our guts and our brains are linked closely through the gut-brain axis. When we've got a healthy gut microbiome, we produce mood-regulating chemicals like serotonin. And when you have a healthy gut microbiome, you also have better sleep. So that's going to increase your happiness and affect your mood. And our gut microbiome also helps to modulate inflammation throughout our body. And as we know, chronic inflammation and stress can cause us to be unhappy. So it does make sense, but I didn't know that data and it was quite impressive to me. So there you have it. 8 evidence-based habits that will make you happier. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. And if you're ready to start decluttering your life and make things easier for yourself, you can click the link here for my Spring Clean Your Life program, which will help you get your life in order, make space in your life, make space in your calendar, and get everything organized and just make you happier. I will also leave the link in the description box below for Skillshare. If you decide to join, let me know. I am so thrilled every time one of you signs up via my link. It's my little gift to you, so I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video.